All right, ladies and gentlemen, still sick as hell. So I've been following the Warcraft 3, of course, for quite some time, as you guys have probably noticed. Played Warcraft 3 a lot back in the day, never against humans, always against computers. I've always been that guy who I like checking out things at the theoretical level, like StarCraft, Brood War, and other games. But I've never been the guy that has like the mechanical skills to even attempt to be like a top tier player. But every now and then, what happens is I know enough about the game and the mechanics behind the game that when people are asking questions like, how do I beat this build? How do I beat that build? And the community, like, is struggling to figure it out. My brain is kind of like, are you stupid? Like, it's kind of easy. So for example, I have no, okay. So for example, Pally Rifle, right? Been watching the Warcraft 3 videos, the Grubby videos, been absolutely loving it, and everyone and their dog are complaining about Pally Rifle. Um, Apparently it's a big deal that Happy figured out how to beat Pally Rifle with his Orc play, with his Undead play, and I guess now with his Night Elf play, which is kind of interesting. But in my brain, I'm like, I watch what he does to beat Pally Rifle, and I'm kind of like, well, yeah, duh, that of course that works. So, Pally Rifle, if you stop and think about it, basically has three weaknesses, right? The first weakness of Pally Rifle is that the first weakness of Pally Rifle is that it really struggles against fortified armored structures, particularly against fortified armored turrets, which every race has access to in the game before their timing attack hits, with the sole exception of humans, who kind of beat up on Pally Rifle anyways, because Fast Expand is meta for human versus human, and it kind of always has been. Try single basing against a human, and good luck with you. So if you watch Happy beating, okay, the other weaknesses are that you can beat up their peasants with counterattacks, and the third and final weakness is that they are kind of a one base all in timing attack. Ooh, that's the wrong stuff. They're a one base all in timing attack. Okay, those are the three main weaknesses. And if you watch how Happy counters them, he's basically punching Pally Rifle in the dick in all three of their weaknesses simultaneously. Is he fast expanding against them? You bet your ass he is. Or is he getting an expansion up at some point, before the timing attack hits? Yes, sir. Is he Is he building turrets at those defensive locations, like fortified armored turrets, which the Paladin rifle are going to really struggle with? Absolutely. The only time I didn't see him do that was when he did the orc Zug Zug with like a 20 grunts and speed scrolls and stuff. His offense at that point was his defense, but you better believe he probably had some fortified armored turrets here and there, and burrows, and all that good stuff. And then lastly, he's like counterattacking and beating up the peasants. These things are not. That's a mage. These things are not isolated from each other. So, for example, in order to even be able to counterattack the enemy and remotely get away with it, your bases need to be defended, right? So you need to have those fortified armored turrets up. You can see this with his undead. He fast expanded with his undead. He fortified up all of his bases around his gold mine with the fortified armored turrets the paladin rifle will actually struggle with. And then he's basically just punching his peasants in the dick constantly. The reason why he can sacrifice his army to go kill a million peasants is because he's got fortified turrets and double bases back at home. If you're trying to single base versus Pally Rifle, the math is in favor of Pally Rifle over time. They will outgrind you into pulp once they get their blood mage going. Like, mathematically speaking, they're just too efficient. Which is why the second base is mission critical, and then fortifying up those bases is super critical. Otherwise, you can't really, because you can't take a straight up fight against Pally Rifle for any length of time and expect to be victorious. Especially even if you have a second base, the math is kind of not in your favor, because it's like, yeah, you'll win the fights, but the experience is just so much in favor of the blood mage and the paladin that eventually you're going to get the hero levels will be in favor of the enemy, and you'll kind of get rickrolled. So again, you got to use that fortified armor. So I was looking at this, right? And when I heard Pally Rifle, the first time I heard Pally Rifle was like the build to beat these days. I was like, what the hell did they do to buff Pally Rifle to make it so terrifying? Like, oh, okay, that's weird. I know I haven't kept up on Warcraft 3 buffs in like a million years, but last I heard they like, buff the armor aura on Paladin, and they put like some new upgrades in the game, and that's about it. And then when I replayed it recently, as you guys saw, I was like, well, I'm not seeing jack shit. It's like, did you buff the DPS of rifles? Rifles already had amazing DPS. Like, I have no idea. I have literally no idea what they could have done. I need to go check over here in a hot second. We'll do one more back and forth. Actually, we'll go check over there afterwards, because it's supposed to be a rich Tiberium, not Tiberium, playing Command & Conquer too much. Rich thorium spawn out here, timing-wise. It's really pissing me off. It should be here any second. Anyways, but it could spawn over there, so I guess I gotta go check it, but theoretically somebody already had got it, so whatever. Anyways, where the hell was I? Yeah, so it's like, well, what the hell did you guys do to buff Pally Rifle that makes it so scary these days? And after looking at it, they didn't really buff anything, and both me and Grubby and a bunch of other players have kind of thought that Paladin Rifle should have been a build for like a million years. There's like a video that's like over a year old where Grubby is playing Pally Rifle, and he's like, the build that should have been but never was. And yeah, he's playing Pally Rifle. But again, Pally Rifle's always had these main weaknesses, is that they run up against fortified enemy towers, and it sucks balls. And suddenly it sucks. And you could argue where it's like, well, Pally time, they might be building turrets, and they'll towers themselves, and they'll shell your base from it. Well, if you don't know how to counter that, then you've never been tower rush in your life. The answer to that, of course, is you build a couple catapults, and you have a good Sim City, so the Pally Rifle can't just run into the middle of your base and easily kill the catapults, and you just kind of shell them from afar. You won't be able to kill them, but the financial strain for repairing your catapult attacks wears on them over time. They're only on a single base, and they're still trying to get through fortified armored structures. It's really painful for them. But again, if you're trying to one base versus Pally Rifle, you're going to lose. So theoretically, you have another expansion up with between 3 to 5 towers at it. Fortified Armored Towers, let's say your Orc, for example. And then back in your main base, you've got a bunch of Fortified Armored Burrows, like maybe 3 Fortified Armored Towers, and like 1 or 2 catapults picking away at the enemy. And your army is 110,000% free to counterattack the enemy base. Like, what the hell are we doing? And when you watch Happy, that's exactly what the hell he's doing. And so in my mind, when I heard Paladin Rifle was a problem, I was like, well, did they find a way to fix their 3 main issues? And then Happy just starts punching him in the dick with their 3 main issues, and I'm like, oh, okay, so the community just fucking forgot how to deal with Pally Rifle. Okay, cool, got it. Yeah, so I'm watching Grubby these days. He's doing, it's like, I'm going to get a Zeppelin, I'm going to drop on their peasants, blah, 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 blah. I saw that game recently. I left a comment. Let's see if we'll go to Grubby channel. Where's the one where he's like, is this how you beat Pally Rifle? Okay, here we are.
Glad I could help.
Real talk though, I do have a question beyond the ramblings.
So he had an idea where he's like, he's going to get a Zeppelin, he's going to harass the shit out of the enemy. And in my assessment, our boy here still needs a second base. Like, we still desperately just need a second base. There's no reason not to get a second base against Pally Rifle, especially when you have some of the best fortified defensive structures in the game as Orc. Undead also have really good fortified defensive structures because their towns are basically fortified. It's the same for Orc, right? But you got to put peasants inside of them. Now I'm going to give up on this. I think somebody got my my thorium vein node. We'll just come back here in like 10 minutes or so. Go check this out really fast. Yeah, so I wrote a comment down here. Lord knows if he even reads his comments. I figured I would just make a video. The Pally Rifle player gets beat up and eventually quits. I guarantee you this Pally Rifle player never built like 1,000,000 turrets in his base. Because the counter... The main counter to being peasant harassed over and over again is to build literally like 6 turrets in your base. Not 3, not 4, not like 5 to 6 turrets in your damn base is required. Yeah, so okay. So Grubby is doing the right thing. He's defending his base with his fortified structures. He's got a really good sim city going here, so if he has to build a catapult in the back, you know, he can shell the enemy. Unfortunately, his barracks is off here in Narnia, but you get the idea. But Grubby's really good at this, and yeah, he is. No idea how many towers are here. Looks like there might have been 4 at most, but 3 towers are not enough. But I still think he could have fast expanded. Like, look at this. I think he's getting ready for a fast expand, or he's getting ready for an expand. Fast expand's a bit of the wrong idea here. What I'm trying to say is that I don't care if you're fast expanding or you're slow expanding. Just have an expansion up with between 3 to 5 fortified armored turrets. Like I said, still sick. 3 to 5 fortified armored turrets before their bloodmage and their timing attack is ready to hit your main base. Like, that's all you need to do before Pally Rifle is going to start having problems. You have your army defending your expansion. And then if they attack your main base, so they're not going to want to attack your expansion because there's like 5 damn fortified armor turrets, towers there, plus your army. Like, I don't want to go into that. There's also no like structures worthy of really being killed there. It's a bad prospect. If they try to go after your main base is going to have a lot of buildings that Paladin Rifle are going to have to chew through. It just needs less turrets in order to defend. Your goal is to bog the enemy down on your fortified armor defensive structures and then to counterattack their base. And I guarantee you that if I go search Happy's video on the subject, that's exactly what the hell he does. So let me pause it really fast. Alright, so that P unpaused it, but not the other P unpaused it. So here's the grunts. Here's his Crypt Fiend fighting against them. We're going to turn off the volume here so we can see what the hell's going on. But let's see what we got. Oh my, it's like, okay, so let's check it out. Does Happy have 2 bases? You're goddamn right he has 2 bases. Is there a blood mage out? There is a blood mage out, but you can see he's scrambling to get the fortified armored turrets up. Doesn't quite have them up yet because he doesn't quite need them. He's going to need them within the next 30 seconds to be sure, because his timing attack is probably coming in. I'm trying to find an in-game timer at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. How long has Blood Mage been out? Blood Mage has been out for... Where are we at? Okay, there's Blood Mage level 1. Blood Mage. Blood Mage has been out for a little while. Huh. Alright, well, it's Happy. He knows his timings. But you can see that he has his gold mines fortified to all hell and back. They're protected by turrets. He fast expanded. And because he's got these defensive turrets, he basically gets to hammer the shit out of the undead over and over and over again. And of course, when they go to attack, let's turn on the volume here really fast.
And here's the rifle push.
Yeah, and
Big
here is
mana.
the rifle push. Who has all their towers already up and ready to rock and roll as the rifle push comes in? Is it the best player in the world? I think it is. Who, because he has 2 bases and they're fortified up with turrets, is counter-attacking the holy living shit
he wouldn't
out
have had
of
infinite
the human
mana,
base.
which is
like, wow. I mean, it's almost like if you don't have to defend your bases, your army can go attack the human base, which is one of their weaknesses. And look at this, perfect timing. I mean, like, am I? So, anyways, yeah. So when I heard Pally Rifle was really scary, my brain was like, why did they fix? Did they do something to buff them that causes them not to suffer from their 3 weaknesses? Because I play human all the time, right? I watch a bunch of theory crafting videos. And then just to watch Happy punch them in the dick repeatedly with their weaknesses just made me laugh my happy little ass off, unironically. So he's going to have to teleport back. He can't let this damage go through. If he lets this damage go through, he's going to lose the game. It looks like he really, really wants to try to destroy this expansion before he teleports back. It doesn't matter. It's already a critical damage at this point. If I turn on...
This is amazing. Happy!
Yeah.
TP!
It doesn't even matter that he loses the fiends. It doesn't even matter.
Is that on purpose? It must be on purpose. It must be on purpose to leave the ghouls behind, to leave the beetles behind, and to ravage this base even more. Happy back to his StarCraft roots when his base is getting ravaged.
Look at this. Look how insanely effective Pally Rifle is at killing turrets.
There's 2 workers left.
Yeah.
Tower's gone.
Okay,
Big
now we're back.
XP now, of course. If you can block the exit, double kill, triple kill, quad kill. Happy is down to 18 food.
It doesn't matter because he's got 2 bases.
It feels like an overcommitment.
All right, cool. Let's check out the orc one. Now the orc one, I don't think he built any turrets, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. This one was a true fast expand. I think the undead one was a true fast expand as well. Yeah, he expands like already, I think. Yeah. So it's like a true fast expand, which again is one of the weaknesses of Pally Rifle. You combine that fast expansion with the heavily fortified turrets, and Orc doesn't really need to fortify because they've got their burrows count as fortified armor.
Good strength. Towers up. They are kiting each.
If his fights in the middle of the map weren't going so well, I guarantee he would build some turrets, because that is one of the things that the fortified armor turrets do really, really, really bad things. Like a Pally Rifle they just kill them so stupidly slowly that it allows counterattacks to be basically crush your face. So I don't even think it showed the expansion at all past a point here. Let me go. Okay, I'm trying to look at the mini map. Like, do they ever get some buildings on the bottom here? I mean, it's getting more and more blue down there, but I don't know what he's building. I guess it just never bothers to look at the expansion base ever again. But yeah, so those are the 3 main weaknesses to Pally Rifle, and I find it absolutely insane that the community is struggling with this. So anyways, I'll end the video here, and day is full.